nobody's so great that you should be unhappy waiting for them, and nobody should be comfortable being put on ice. If you want to, and also I don't think she talked really about what she wanted outside of putting a title on it, but if she doesn't want to be, if she wants to be in a relationship with this man and it's been this long. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Brian, Coach BA, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. And one of our viewers
for sure
reached out to Brian, asked for us to chat about men healing from hurt.
Men healing from hurt and past traumas and letting them hold them back, moving forward within relationships with
new people. And so this young lady sent us a voice clip kind of expressing her discontent about what was going on in her relationship. And so we're going to just talk about it freely, so we can kind of break it down bit by bit and talk about it. I want to preface this with, this is our opinion. These are things that we might have, we're going to give examples based on what we've read, what we know about male and female relationships. And with Brian being a master life coach and, you know, my life as a dating expert, I'm going to give it to you as we know.
As an example, so my little friend that I've been speaking with for the last few years now, he told me, you know, of course, about his past and different things people have done to him that has caused him to be who he is now. How guarded, you know, the reasons why he's so guarded and why it was tough for him to let certain shit go because it hurt that bad. Right. Whereas with me, I'm like, well, fuck it. If they hurt you, don't let them hold that power over you. Let that shit go. And he keeps trying to explain to me how it's not that easy.
Okay. And well, introductory was a dead giveaway that something wasn't right.
Oh yeah,
for me.
Definitely.
Anytime, I'm not gonna say anytime, but if you're dating somebody for multiple years, how you speak about them when they're there, when they're not there, shows a lot about your level of respect and care for this person. So, like I said, we're not attacking anybody, we're not judging anybody's choices, we're just telling you from our perspective. And if I'm calling a man my little friend after multiple years of dating him, title or no title, that feels really disrespectful.
Yes. My little friend, it sounds demeaning. And what a lot of women got to recognize, I believe, and I would say guys too, is that how you talk about your partner in their absence also reflects, it speaks volumes on how you really feel about them. When you call your male friend your little friend, you're diminishing him. I've always stood from the standpoint that men and women ain't really friends, or, you know what I'm saying, if they're sexually involved, they're not friends. Unless, you know, y'all soulmates and then it's like your best friend forever type stuff and you feel that way. But other than that, it's not really too much friendship between two sexual partners. It's a romantic love and whatnot. So just that whole little friend part rubbed me kind of, I ain't gonna say rubbed me the wrong way, but it lets me know that she's not too serious about him in the first place.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say it's a respect level. Even I've been inside of situations where there was no official title, but me and the person had been dating, and I refer to them as the guy I'm dating or the guy that I'm seeing, or, you know, I don't typically use the word friend, but I'll say like the person I'm messing with, like at the minimum, like the guy that I'm messing with is like the least, like you barely made it to even be mentioned. But anything else is, you know,
Just overall, the little friend just shows an overall lack of that you don't respect him as a man.
Then you might not be into it as much as you think you might be. And to kind of piggyback off of that, if it's been 3 years and this person isn't giving you what you want, then it's time for you to decide if it's worth your stress and your trouble. Because if after 3 months of not getting what you want, and I'm not saying that, the world revolves around, one particular person, but if you've had conversations and it's still not going where you want it to go, it might be time to move on. If he is able to give you reasons why he is guarded and why he is withholding himself from you, if he can call a name to it, he can fix it. He can work on it. And what it sounds like to me is that he's using that as a crutch versus saying, I don't need to be with anybody because I am hurt and I'm guarded and I can't give you. I'm giving you the scraps of me that I'm fine giving you, versus saying, look, I'd rather not waste your time and do anything with you until I figure myself out. So if he can call a name to it, but he's still using it as a crutch, that's a lack of.
It's a lack of ambition, because any real man would look at every obstacle as an opportunity to learn more about himself and develop his character and try something new. Like, we've all been hurt, but if you let that hurt stop you from living, then you're not living life at all. You living guarded. You are diminishing yourself. And one thing that draws men to women is a man's ambition. If he don't have any ambition to overcome the obstacles that would stop him from being with you, then you don't want him anyway.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that.
And he don't want you anyway.
Yeah. Because I think the conversation would be very different if he said, I really like you and I care for you, and I think I initially, because people sometimes don't know it themselves enough to know when they need to step aside. And that's a whole nother conversation about knowing who you are, knowing yourself. Right. But even if he decided, I'm trying to connect with you, I see you're unhappy, and this is the reason why I'm unable to connect with you, let me stop, as much as it's going to pain me to not entertain you and be around you, because I genuinely enjoy your company. Let me go work on me. Let me go work on me and figure out how I can overcome these things so I can bring you the best version of myself.
Yeah.
So if we can call a name to it, he can work on it.
Right. That's facts.
Okay.
And it's taken me a very long time to understand.
And that, unfortunately, that's just really selfish. That's a selfish mentality. It's not as easy as just forget about it, let that shit go. If he's experienced trauma, because we've all been through traumatic relationships. I won't say we all have, but a good majority of us have been through relationships that didn't end well, or we'd all be married and happily ever after. So understanding that, from my understanding as a woman, it does take a man a lot sometimes to open up and let somebody in. And if he let somebody in his past 1, 2, 3, how many ever times, and they betrayed that trust, it's that gun shy. It's that gun shyness that sometimes, in my opinion, men will go through. And it's the same thing that women go through, where because one guy cheated on you and disrespected you, now you want to go through your man's phone when he ain't never did anything to even give you an inkling that was in his character.
Right.
So I think there is an opportunity for you to kind of fall back and let him figure it out without trying to force him to do it your way.
Yeah. I don't think, like the way she's saying it, I don't think he was necessarily trying to force her. This one need to go.
Yep. Yep.
I don't think he was necessarily trying to force her. Like you said, I think he was more or less using it as a crutch for him. I honestly just listen to it. It sounds like he is just trying. Men know what they want. And we had a topic about this. We talked about this yesterday. Men overall know what they want. A lot of people don't. A lot of people do. But when it comes to a spouse or a female, a lot of times we know what we want. So if a man is using, oh, I've been hurt, but I still want to fuck you, pretty much, or I still want you physically, but I can't give myself to you emotionally because I've been so hurt, is because he's using you for your body. He's telling you right there. He has no plans on moving forward with you. So to me, just me being a guy, he probably got a whole family somewhere stashed away, or he's just using as a clutch to not get close to you so he can stay playing the field, being with other women, whether it's a whole other family or he's with multiple women. He's using it as an excuse to not hunker down with you. You've been with him for 3 years.
That's what she said, 3 years.
If you've been with him for 3 years and he still ain't putting no type of title on it, you still calling him your little friend, let's keep it funky, y'all fuck buddies. At the end of the day.
Again, I can't get over, if he can call a name to it, he can work on it and fix it. And you can't explain away his lack of commitment. You can't explain away and give him a pass for not being able to express himself in a healthy way. So if he says, I can't let stuff go, other women have hurt me in the past, and this is why I can't let myself be open to you, then he needs to leave you alone and go figure out his stuff, or because he's going to waste your time, hurt your feelings. You're clearly emotionally invested in this man if it's been 3 years. He may not intentionally be playing around with you, but he's playing around with you, like you said. He's either using you as a placeholder until he actually finds a woman he wants to be with, or it sounds like you're allowing him excuses versus shoring up your self-love and saying, this isn't what I want, I need to move away because this no longer serves me.
So when it came to relationships, I'm hounding him like, we doing this A, B, C, D, and we still ain't together. And he's like, I don't want to be... He said, if I were to get into a relationship now, I know it wouldn't work.
Somebody's going to only allow you to do to them what you let them. So whoever, well, I would say you, because you were the one explaining from your side of it. You have conditioned them to treat you a certain kind of way within that relationship. If you've allowed A, B, C, and D, what have you been requiring, or what has been that exchange that's going on to allow that to take place and continue? If you're not getting what you want out of the... She always repeat after me when I say all zooms, no whammies. Like, I want what I want, no shorts.
No shorts.
You have that right to come to a relationship and get exactly what you want with no shorts. If he coming up short within it, then you have to love yourself enough to not be there. And the person who... Is my hand that ashy?
You lick it. No, I want it to.
Ash be gone.
There's some hand sanitizer on that.
Yeah, I tasted that too.
Well, serious, okay? This is a real person's problem. To your point, if you should not have to hound anybody for anything. Like nothing, never anybody, no matter the situation. If you've got to hound it, you shouldn't want it. Like, this is something that we talk about in our relationship. If I've got to ask you for it, I don't want it. If I've got to ask you for your time, your attention, your kindness, your love, if I have to request that or hound that from you, I don't want it. Because that means you're not giving it to me genuinely from a place of love. You're giving it to me to shut me up, to placate me for a little while longer until you figure out that I'm discardable, or that now you found somebody that you do want. So hounding him is another sign that this isn't right. This isn't the right situation. Because if you voiced your concerns clearly and said, listen, I care for you and I do want to take this relationship to the next step. We've been together for X amount of months, of years. Mm-hmm. We're sleeping together. We're going on dates. But we haven't put a title to it. Don't expect that. like you said, I haven't required you. But aside from even requiring it, he does not want to give it. Because we both have had emotional hurts and traumas and scars, but that has not stopped us from working through them together. Like, it's still sometimes we're triggered about things that happened in our past, and that are in our own relationship. We have to pause and be like, you know what? Let's work through this, because this matters more to me than my insecurity or my hurt feelings. So let me talk to you. Let me tell you how I'm feeling. Let me express that this isn't from a place of me just being bitter or angry, but my heart is still a little bit bruised from a past situation. Maybe I hadn't dealt with it fully, or I'm triggered by it. Let me get it out and talk to you. And 10 times out of 10, we either come to an agreement or be reassured by each other, or we've talked our own selves out of the nonsense without even having to bring it to the person in the moment. So you shouldn't have to hound him for anything. If he cares for you and he wants you to be in his life long term, he'll give it to you freely.
Yeah. And speaking of freely, I was just thinking and expressing that love is freedom. So anytime somebody feel caged up inside of a relationship, then like they act out. But at the same time, with y'all being together for as long as y'all been together, y'all love should be free. If y'all dealing with each other, it should be freedom amongst y'all. You shouldn't have to hound him to do anything. Y'all should be exploring together and exploring y'all love. If there's vulnerability in being free, just like there's strength in vulnerability. It's like a trifecta, right? So if you're not being vulnerable, then you're not free, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. There's trust. You don't have the freedom. You don't trust.
Right.
That your vulnerability is going to be taken care of or respected, right, or nurtured.
Right. Inside the relationship, y'all have to have vulnerability with each other for y'all to grow and expand. Y'all have to be able to fill in each other's weaknesses, not necessarily because you need somebody to, but because somebody wants to. And if he won't allow you to help him inside the space, like she said, if you could put a name to it, you could change it. If he can identify his weaknesses, but he won't allow you to overcome those things,
it's an issue. And he might not trust that you can do it. He might not trust that you have the patience or the power or the love or the kindness to love him through his insecurities and his trauma. Because there is a certain element of that. If you're going to be with somebody who is still working through their trauma, you're right to think that you can't help him through that, but you can help him through that. Sometimes helping somebody through their trauma is affirming who you are and sharing that self-love that you have to say, you know what, I understand you're going through this situation, and how can I help you? If I can't help you, then how can I best support you?
Right. How
can I support you through this? Because you matter enough to me for me to help you through this. And if I can't help actually heal your wounds, because we have to do a lot of that work ourselves, how can I support you? Can I communicate more? Can I communicate less? Can I be around you more, give you more space and time to work through your emotions when you're feeling triggered? What's that look like? Yeah. Like, you have to over communicate that if you're choosing to stay in this relationship. But it sounds like either there needs to be a complete total overhaul on expectations, a complete total overhaul on communication, or it's gotta be like, I gotta see you later. And if you're meant to be with me, then we'll reconnect at a different time frame. But right now, you're not aligned in what the actions don't line up with the words.
Yeah. I mean, everybody got, like we said before, everybody got traumas that they've dealt with within relationships, but those traumas that we go through go either propel us forward or hold us back. If you dealing with somebody who allow their traumas to hold them back, then they will eventually start holding you back if you allow them to.
Yeah.
If you can't change the people around you with your love, then you need to change the people that's around you.
And choose loving yourself.
And choose loving yourself more or better until you find somebody who will love you the way that you deserve, or the way that you feel that you deserve to be loved.
Right. And not wasting, because if it's been 3 years, and I don't know the details of when they just, what the nature of their relationship is outside of what she's given us, but after a couple of months of dealing with somebody,
it usually take about 90 days.
About 90 days to figure out if everything is kosher, everything is copacetic, everything is for the right. You should be able to tell within 90 days if you're feeling somebody enough to continue on. Right. And if that happened, either there were some inadequacies or somebody was lying in the beginning,
right.
or was bringing the representative and they weren't being authentic in the beginning, or one or both of you settled and said, okay, this will do for now, let's keep going because this is more comfortable than being by ourselves.
Right.
And even then, that's a lack of self-love, because if somebody's not giving you what you want, if somebody's not loving you in the way that you are more or better than you love yourself, better or at least how much you love yourself, they shouldn't be a candidate for your attention.
When it came to relationships, I'm hounding him like, we doing this A, B, C, D, and we still ain't together. And he's like, I don't want to be. He said, if I were to get into a relationship now, I know it wouldn't work because I'm not fully in it.
Okay,
and he said that he doesn't want a girlfriend, he wants a wife. And so,
bring it back a little bit.
Trying to rush him.
Not wanting a girlfriend, or him not wanting a relationship, him telling you, I don't want a relationship right now because I would mess it up. To me, that's classic. It's not you, it's me. That's a cop-out.
Thanks.
Because if I'm sleeping with you, if I'm going out on dinner dates with you, if I'm coming over Netflix and chilling, if I'm spending time with you for texting, we're doing everything that boyfriends and girlfriends, husbands and wives, fiancés, whatever, do. But we're in a relationship already. I'm just not going to commit to you because I don't want to. I think a man will spend his resources on a temporary situation. But the matters of the heart, letting you know how he feels internally, letting you know his deep thoughts, his insecurities, those are the things that are going to show you how this man feels about you. Any man can spend money and time, but if it's something that he values and he's not sharing that with you, that speaks that speaks to his character, unfortunately. If he's fine doing all these things with you, but can look you in the eye and say, I don't want a girlfriend, honey, that's what you are. You already are assuming that role. You just haven't required him to get serious about it. You've given him the freedom to treat you like a revolving door. As long as I keep doing these things with you, giving you hope that maybe it'll happen when I heal my heart.
Right. Heal my heart.
Then maybe you'll stay. But if you told him, okay, that's fine, heal your heart, I'm going to be done with you. I'm going to go be by myself, and I'm going to find the person that wants me right now. He would change his tune, or he would let you go because you don't mean that much to him to change his perspective and change his attitude.
Anything worth good and having is worth fighting for, and any real man know that. So when faced with that decision, and I'm not saying women just go around and give your man ultimatums, because a lot of y'all realize
you got nothing to offer
real quick that you don't have anything to offer. But I'm saying, if y'all been together for 3 years, at some point you have to ask yourself, and that might come by way of you asking him, but you have to ask yourself how much you love you enough to walk away from the situation if you're not being fulfilled inside of it.
Because if you want a husband, it doesn't matter, and this might sound harsh, but it doesn't matter what he wants. If you voiced your concern and said, I want a husband, and he says, well, I want a wife. Okay, great. How are we working towards it? Because you say you don't want a girlfriend. You're saying that you want him. You're trying to rush him into being a title of a boyfriend and girlfriend. If he's saying, I don't want a girlfriend, I want a wife, are you asking the right questions to find out what that means to him? What's different than us doing what we're doing now to us being in a committed relationship that's headed towards marriage? Are we headed towards marriage? Those are questions you have to ask with the confidence that if it doesn't sound like something that you're willing to negotiate, you got to step away from that. Like, I'll share my if I can share what I said to you. Now, mind you, we were already exchanging those feelings of like, yeah, this is something serious. But I said, if you are not considering me for a wife, a life partner, a best friend, the mother of your children, your soulmate, like if you're not considering me for those things by dating me, I ask you to leave me alone immediately.
And what did I say?
You said, I'm his. No, he didn't say I'm his, but you're like, I am. I absolutely am. Or else I wouldn't be dealing with you in this capacity.
Right.
And I'm like, sign me up. Let's go. And so that's a whole other conversation another day. That conversation helped change my thought on needing the title of girlfriend. Because I realized that I didn't want that placeholder that I used so frivolously with other people. Him telling me that he is considering me and wanting me as a wife a life partner for the future. You can have that girlfriend title. Like, I don't need that, because how you treat me and how you talk to me and how we trust each other showed me that you were serious about that. I didn't have to question your words.
For sure. Your words and your actions should be perfect. Like, they should line up. That's one thing about being a man, and I'm not saying that I am perfect with it, but I'm making an effort. Your words and your actions should be
unilateral.
Should be unilateral.
Absolutely. If you don't want a girlfriend, you want a wife, then you should be able to get one.
But it sounds like he got one. He just don't want to call it to her. He don't want to give her what she wants, which is the title of it.
Which is a problem.
Right.
Because if he cares for her, and it's I always, if somebody says like, well, I'm not ready for a relationship, I put with me in that. Like, I put, okay, you're not ready for a wife, you don't want me as your wife. You're not ready for a girlfriend, you don't want me as your girlfriend.
Right. Because what kills me is that you are in a relationship with whoever you are around. We inside of a car, therefore we are in a relationship with each other because we are related inside the situation. You are in a relationship with your best friend. You're in a relationship with them. You have a special bond that y'all have. That is the definition of a relationship. You are already in a relationship with this person. Now, if you want to grow within the relationship, or let the relationship hold you back, that's the issue. That's what needs to be discussed and discovered. Y'all already inside of a relationship with one another. If y'all doing everything that a husband, wife, fiance, freaking leak in the sheets do, y'all already have, whether the nature of that relationship is a sexual relationship. You are already inside of a relationship. He's saying that he want a wife, but in order to find a wife, you have to be considered husbandly. So he either subconsciously ain't considering himself to be that much of a pimp when it comes to being a husband, or he just don't want you as his wife.
Thanks. That's it, that's all. But we'll play some more.
So when it came to relationships, I'm hounding him like, we doing this A, B, C, D, and we still ain't together. And he's like, I don't want to be. He said, if I were to get into a relationship now, I know it wouldn't work because I'm not fully in it. And he said that he doesn't want a girlfriend, he wants a wife. And so by me trying to rush him on some let's be girlfriend and boyfriend type shit, he's like, no, that's not what this is. And he told me, like, you cannot control how I overcome this stuff. You can only just be there for me. You can talk to me about the stuff, but you cannot control my narrative to fit yours.
Got it.
He told you everything you needed to know, and this is not what we're doing, you can't rush me into nothing because I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Right.
Unfortunately, his actions and his words are not aligning, and that's a lack of manness, where he can't be honest with you. But he's telling you everything you need to read. You need to read between the lines on this one, but you don't even need to read between the lines because he's saying it. This is not that. Yes, we're screwing. Yes, we're going out on dates. Yes, we're doing X, Y, Z. But you're not a wife candidate for me. This isn't that. Which means you might not have started off in a let's build on something type of relationship. You might have started off, and this is me assuming, you might have started off in a smash and grab type of relationship. He was there for the jewels. He got the bag, and then he was on his way, but there was something about you that kept him there. But what got you there won't keep you there. And you can't keep a man satiated with hounding him or rushing him. It's going to be impossible. He's going to move in his own time when he wants to do what he wants to do.
Just judging from a guy's perspective, and I'm just spitballing here, but when a guy says, oh, you're rushing me, and oh, to me, that's him using filler just to fill in the space, fill in the silence, and give her a reason to keep her around, even though he don't want her. I don't want to rush into nothing, but you're already there, you're already doing everything. If a title is what you want, he's not going to give it to you because he doesn't want to. A real man who is a man's wife is like the crown on his head. That's his trophy. And if he's not willing and ready and able to be out with you, show you off, display you, and put a label on it, then he more than likely don't want you.
Simply put. And no amount of rushing or hounding is going to change that. And unfortunately, what's it going to do? That's going to damage your self-esteem and damage you as a woman. If you keep banging your head up against the wall, and you know the definition of insanity, I don't need to say it, but for those of you who don't know it, it's doing the exact same thing and expecting a different outcome. So if you're with this man for year 1, year 2, year 3, he has not expressed interest in doing anything beyond what you have. There has been no growth. There has been no talk of growth, no talk of the future. Men talk about the future with women that they want to be in the future. They talk about plans and make plans with women and people who they want to include in that. Right. If you were on a diet plan and it said in 3 years you're going to have a 6-pack, and you working out, eating right, exercising, not drinking for 3 years, and you still just the same weight that you were before, you would quit that diet plan. Like, I done wasted my time, my money, my energy. That's the same thing that you're doing. You're wasting your time, your emotion, your energy, your self-esteem, your self-worth on somebody who has already told you multiple times that they don't want you. And it has nothing to do with him healing from past trauma. If that is the case, he can choose to fix that, and you could even facilitate some of that healing and be a part of it. But he does not want you in his future. If he did, in my mind, he would leave you alone and go get his stuff right so he could bring his best self to you. A man doesn't want, in my opinion, a man would want to bring his half-assness to you and say, oh, here's the broken part of me for you to fix. No, he's going to want to figure it out on his own so he can come to you and say, all right, I had to work through that trauma. I had to work through my anger issues because I didn't want to take out what somebody else did to me on you. Now I'm healed and I'm ready. But I bet you, if that was his plan, he could articulate that with you and you would know the deal. Well, that was a lot.
That was a lot.
We hope that helped, even if it wasn't what you wanted to hear.
Sure.
If you hear nothing else from what we said today, it would be make sure that you have your self-love calibrated. so that you're not waiting for somebody to give you what you want. You're loving you enough to walk away from any situation that no longer serves you. And if somebody wants you, they'll have you. And they'll do the work that it takes to get right for you.
Your job is not to fix him, but you are a catalyst for motivation for him. And if he's not motivated by you enough to want to change and do, he should want to do it for himself. But the very least you can do is be a catalyst for change for him.
Yeah.
And if he won't let you be that, then if anything, he might be using all these things as an excuse to keep you around, but he know that he doesn't deserve somebody as good as you. And I'm just using that for example. Because some guys will know, like, you know what, I'm not good enough inside this situation, but, you know, as long as she'll have me, I'm going to stick around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll stick around, right.
So, like she said, you gotta know yourself and love yourself enough inside the situation to ask yourself, what are you inside that situation for? Mm-hmm. What is it that you get out of a relationship with a significant other? And is he providing that for you? You have to love yourself enough to know what you want out of that situation. And then to see if that person is providing that for you.
And if they're not, walk away. Right. He is not worth. Now, he might be a great guy. I'm not taking anything away from this man because obviously you chose to be with him for a reason. But if, in my mind, nobody is worth me suffering. Nobody is worth me suffering. So if I'm suffering inside the situation and I'm not getting what I want out of it, then I'm choosing to suffer. And if I gotta beg you for it, I don't want it. I don't have to beg you for anything.
Same shit here. We give freely to one another because
we want to be here.
We want to be here. Are you there because you need somebody? Or are you there because you want somebody? Or are you there because you know yourself enough? Because there's a difference between being lonely and alone. Are you with somebody because you are lonely and you just want somebody to fill in that time and that space for you? Or are you alone, satisfied with yourself being alone, and now you're ready to open up somebody and invite them into your space for growth together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good one. I like that.
BLE Black Love Experience, like, share, and subscribe.
And comment. We love to hear your thoughts on what we've said below. So feel free to drop us a note if you have a concern or a challenge that you're working through and you want some non-fluffy, discerned conversation from it, then we're more than happy to chat. So,
and if you need help breaking up with your significant other, we do offer those services on the blackloveexperiment.com. If you would like help, mediation services or relationship counseling or coaching, I should say, please feel free to hit us up on the blackloveexperiment.com and all that good stuff.
Yes, you can donate there too. So every little bit of money that you give us helps us do more cool stuff, and we're getting started. So we love to have your support any way that you want to give it.
And thank you for your support.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So until next time, I'm Alicia Lee.
I am BA the Imperial, Coach BA, love and light to you and yours.